Hey everybody, and welcome to the Get Speaking English Coffee and Crossword stream. My name is Axel, and while we wait for the stream to begin, let me quickly explain how this activity works and give you some information that will help you do it. So, during the stream, we will go through a crossword similar to the one you see on the screen right now. I'm going to guide the conversation by letting you know which question will work on when. I'm going to explain the question to you, maybe give you some definitions, and then I'm going to give you additional clues, other information, hints, maybe some images to help you figure out the answer with me. So, when you think you know an answer, go ahead and put it in the chat. You'll be able to participate on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. The addresses are all available on the screen. So don't be shy. If you think you know an answer, put it in the chat. And when I see a correct answer, I will add it on the board and we will fill out the crossword together that way. So before we begin though, there are a few important rules that you should know specifically about this stream so we could all have a good time. So my first major rule is no cheating. So don't use the internet unless I tell you to. So we could Google the answers if we want or use websites. We're not going to do that though. We're going to work together instead. So please do not use the internet unless I tell you to do so. Secondly, please follow the conversation. So for example, if we are talking about question number 3, don't start talking about question 19. Also, too, please be patient. We may take some detours along the way. I love to talk about additional vocabulary, phrases, other things that are related to what's in the crossword. So just please be patient. Try to stay with the group and don't ruin it for others. Finally, please be nice to one another. Like I said, you'll be able to participate on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. But let's create a nice, friendly learning environment where people feel like they can participate without judgment and have a good time. So those are my main rules for playing this game. Now I'm going to give you some additional information specifically about this crossword to help you complete it. So the first useful thing to know is that this is an American crossword. So that means that American spelling and vocabulary is going to be used. So you can see on the screen right now some differences between American and British spelling. There are many others. This is just a small sample of some of the differences. There are also differences in the choice of vocabulary, in some of the phrases, some of the slang is different. So usually this crossword uses American English. It's also worth knowing that any of the trivia is usually about the United States, so about American history, American geography. However, we won't need to know much trivia. Thankfully, the majority of the questions in this crossword are about language, they're about English, so we won't need to know a lot about trivia. It's also really helpful to know that the answers match the questions. So the answers will always use the same type of word and the same word form as the word in the question. So for example, if there is a plural in the question, there will be a plural in the answer. If there's an abbreviation in the question, there will be an abbreviation in the answer. So all of that is extremely helpful. Sometimes you will see me put little S's or EDs in places, and that's just good information for us to know to fill out the board faster. Keep that in mind too when you are answering, that your answer should always use the same type of word and the same word form as the question. Also, multiple word answers are okay in this crossword. So sometimes the answer could be a phrasal verb, maybe part of a common phrase or an idiom, part of a sentence. Some of the longer ones are titles of books, titles of movies. This crossword does not indicate when something is a multiple word answer. However, I am usually quick to spot them. I will let you know if something is a multiple word answer, but do keep in mind when you are thinking about the answers to the questions that multiple word answers are possible. Finally, too, because we are here to review English, we're here to learn new words and vocabulary as well. It's important to know that there are words in this crossword that we can't really use in real life. So some of the words are just archaic, they're outdated, they're old-fashioned. Some of them are very formal or used only in very specific contexts. I will try to let you know if you can't use something, and I'll try to give you an alternative expression instead. I'll also let you know when you could use something in a specific context, but do keep that in mind that there are words in this crossword that even I, as a native English speaker, would never use in real life during a conversation. Anyway, so that's it. Like I said, don't be shy. Go ahead, jump in. The more you participate, the faster this crossword will go. So I do appreciate your help. Also, don't hesitate to ask questions about any of the words we talk about or any of the phrases we discuss. I always love having a good language discussion. So put your questions in the chat. I will try to address them. Finally, if you enjoy this activity, please give this video a thumbs up. Also consider subscribing to the channel or following my Facebook page so you don't miss any future streams. Also, please tell other people about this stream. The more people we can get out, the better. It grows the community, and it will let me host even more free live streams, free events, and other additional affordable group activities for English learners. So thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate you being here, and I love when you participate. And get ready, because we are going to start soon. Hello, hello. I think I'm working. I hope. It's been a while, so not 100% sure. Anyways, welcome. If you don't know who I am, I'm Axel from Get Speaking English, and we are here to do a crossword today, and I'm just fiddling with things to make sure everything works all right. And it's been a while, so because I went away and then I was really sick. I'm still a little bit sick. You could probably hear it in my throat. Crossing my fingers that I am not going to cough the entire time. That is mostly why I was not doing these streams, and I had canceled like some different group things and stuff like that. But anyways, feeling a heck of a lot better. Still have a bit of a cough though, but hopefully it is not going to be a problem. Yeah, so we are live right now on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We're gonna do this crossword just like the little video said. What's gonna happen is I'm gonna lead the conversation. I'm gonna let us know what questions we're gonna work on when. I'm going to throw out some different, like some clues and additional information to help you figure out the answer right along with me. So if you think that you know what an answer is, go ahead, put it in the chat. I have chats open for all of those three places. The Facebook backend is weird now. Anyways, that's what I keep looking at. Trying to figure it out. Yeah, but if you think you know something, then put it up into the chat, and then I will put it on the board. We will figure out the crossword together that way. So don't be shy. Please help. It goes a heck of a lot faster when people help. I love when it goes fast because I get out of here sooner. And I enjoy it more. I enjoy it when people participate. So I do know that this is my first time back, so there may not be a lot of people. Anyways, just also too, before we get started, if you are interested in actually working with me to do some lessons, I'm having a sale right now. I'm having a sale all through the month of April on the article-based conversation classes. So you can either book a package of conversational classes right now, either book a package of 5 or 10, or you can do those as lessons as well, so you can focus a little bit more on grammar, the vocabulary. Also too, in lessons, it really gives me an opportunity to help students with their pronunciation, fixing fossilized errors. It's also the only way I give writing feedback. I do not give writing feedback in conversation classes, but I will during lessons. So if that is something that is that seems interesting to you, go ahead and send me a message. The best way to contact me is always on Telegram. You can send me an email as well at getspeakingenglish@gmail.com, but the best way to get hold of me is on Telegram at Axel_of_getspeakingenglish on Telegram. And just when you're doing your message, just say spring sale, so I know that you are not a bot, because I get a lot of spam on Telegram. So make sure that you say that in your first message, or just like say something a little bit more complicated than just hi, hey, what's up. So let me know that you're a student. Let me know that you're interested in lessons. You want to talk about it. You want to get more information. Or even if you want to just say like hello and just talk about the content and things like that, the streams, I'm happy to respond to that as well. So just make sure that I know that you are a legitimate person. That is all I ask. Anyways, okay, so let's get right into things. I don't think anybody is here, so I will commit to, let's go for an hour. I'm gonna commit to an hour, see how far we can get through this. If a couple more people show up, I will commit to an hour and a half. We'll try to finish it. So don't be shy. Again, you can participate on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And the more the merrier, because it goes faster that way. All right, so I did look at this earlier today. Some of it was a little tricky. Here I found was a little bit tricky, but let's see if we can figure it out. So here first, luggage ID. And I'm just gonna point out here, because we are here learning English, the word luggage is always uncountable. We never say luggages, we only say luggage. So I got my luggage off the plane. I picked my luggage up at the airport. And there's a little thing, this ID is short for identification, if you were wondering. So short for identification. So we're looking for a little tag, or a little thing that you would put on your luggage in order to say that it is yours, basically. I'm just gonna fix this a little bit. Come back and everything is weird. Okay, anyways, I think that this answer, I kind of already have said it anyways, is gonna be a tag. You would put a luggage tag that would have all of your information on it. Gotta get a really quick, I'm gonna get a picture here really quickly, just so we know exactly what I am talking about. Like one of these things, typically. And of course, too, when you're going through the airport, too, they're going to also, if you check your luggage, so if you check your luggage, That's when you give it to the airport. When you give it to the people at the airport, so they can put your luggage under the plane. So if you check your luggage, they are also going to tag your, they will tag your luggage. So they will put, you know, information about your flight details and things like that. So that is another thing as well. Here we go. Here is a picture as somebody, looks like the staff person is putting the tag on the bag. So that is what that means. All right. Anyways, moving on. Let's see what else we can do here. Love story actor. So we don't really do trivia here. I have no idea. If you happen to know what this is, though, put it in the chat. I am useless when it comes to names and things for the most part. So, but put it in the chat if you think you know what this one is. And let's maybe do, let's maybe do this one, a narrow shelf. So what is a shelf? A shelf is kind of like, I'm just gonna get a picture what a shelf is. This is typically something you would mount to a wall, that you would hang on a wall. Here is like a unit of 2 shelves. There's a plural of shelf. Shelves. Shelf is one of these things. We're looking for a very narrow thing. If something is narrow, that is the opposite of wide, right? So a little narrow thing. I'm gonna say probably we would use this word to talk about the narrow sort of shelf that you might find along a window. Of course, there are maybe a couple different words. Actually, now that I think about it, there's another word here too that we could use to refer to this. But we're looking for one here. Has a G in it. I was gonna say we could call this a window sill, but obviously that does not work here. We could also use this word if we are thinking about cliffs, for example. I'm going to share a picture of somebody doing something that, in my opinion, is pretty stupid. But this person is sitting here on the edge of this cliff. And we're looking for a word for this edge, the edge of the cliff. This word we might, this here we might refer to as a ledge, the ledge. So I think ledge is going to be our answer here. So let's put that in there. Drops out of hand. I'm gonna put an S here because we can see that there is an S in this verb here. We always know that the word form in the answer is going to match the word form used in the question. So we can see here that there is an S here, drops, verb with an S, third person singular. So we're going to do that here. But I'm not sure what this is. Does failure. And of course that person. Blush. Yeah, maybe we could know what this is. So blush, with makeup, you know, blush is that stuff that you would put on your cheeks, right? Here we go. Here's a picture. You know, that stuff that you would put on your cheeks. Make it a little more, well, here this person's making their cheeks pink, but you know, make it a little bit more red. I think this is actually a verb though, so to blush, because we could also use it as a verb as well. And so we're basically looking for a verb that indicates that our face maybe is becoming a little bit red. So if you have an idea as to what that verb might be, put it in the chat. So we have something, something D, something, something, something to become red, basically. If you think you know what that is, I'll give you a little bit of a hint here. It does start with this part of it is red. The first part of this verb is red. But then we have a couple other letters that are going to go in here as well. So maybe you just have a guess as to what that is. I also accept guesses. Sometimes guesses are great because it gives us an opportunity to discuss different words, different vocabulary and things like that that you may know that maybe you are using incorrectly. Sometimes that happens as well. So that is why we are here, to discuss all of those amazing, cool things. So let me know. Anyways, here, I think this is going to be redden. You would redden if you blushed. Redden. Just like that. So I'm going to put that in here. Redden, you're going to blush a little bit. And maybe we have enough info about this one. I wasn't quite sure what this is going to be, but an RB post. Post here, we're referring to like some sort of, almost like an encampment. I think I spelled that right. No, an encampment. Encampment or something like that. Like some sort of, basically some sort of like buildings or something where, like an army base, basically. You know, where army personnel may come together or something like that. And I can't spell. So that has not changed since I've gone away. Yeah, so they may come together, they may meet, they may stay there for a bit. And I don't know how else to describe this one. There are many, other than that, I know that there are many historical ones sort of around the world, where soldiers may like collect and stuff like that. We even have one here. I'm like getting a picture of the one that's here locally, if I can. Here we go. If you don't know, I am in Canada. I live in Nova Scotia, and here is an example of this this thing here locally in a city called Halifax. And hello, Jacqueline. Hey, yeah, it's good to see you too. I went away on a trip and then I was really sick. So I'm finally not coughing all the time. So for a while, yeah, it was like not good. But it's good to see you as well. How are you doing? Let me know how you're doing. Yeah, I'm super happy to be back, and it's good to see you. Anyways, I think this is gonna be a fort. Yeah, exactly. This is gonna be a fort. Let's put fort in here. Put fort in here. Yeah, I think that's gonna fit here too. I agree. Said previously too, because I'm not a trivia person, but if you happen to know what this love story actor is, let me know if you have a guess. I have an idea just based on this, like how this name is shaping up. But if you know what that is, put it in the chat, because I don't know. But weather is very beautiful today. Nice, 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 nice. The weather actually is not bad here as well. I thought it was gonna rain all day. We were supposed to have rain all week, but It's actually sunny, although apparently it's only -1 degree. So it's not very warm. It's still very cold, but the sun is shining. So, what is this? Failure. Okay, I think we can do this. Outdoes. Somebody who outdoes something. I think that this answer here actually is going to be a phrasal verb. Or like, yeah. So, if I can spell it, yeah, I think this is going to be a phrasal verb. And we can see that it's conjugated here, so I'm going to put an S here. But yeah, if you outdo somebody, you basically try to be better than the last person, right? Maybe they think that they've done something amazing, and they're like, no, I am better, basically. So, yeah, does something better than someone else. And you would kind of like do this if you are doing this, you're kind of trying to show them up. Almost, maybe. So it's not necessarily always, we don't necessarily always do this in, I want to say, good faith. Sometimes it's a little bit rude, almost. Here is the official definition of this one. To get an advantage over someone by doing something better, more extreme than them, or by saying that you did or will do something like this, and that you're going to probably do it better because you're going to outdo them. So, I'm gonna put outdo in a sentence so we can see how we would use it. So we always try to outdo everybody in class, and then colloquially, informally, we might say this phrasal verb. This phrasal verb is going to be one up. You would one up somebody. Be a little bit better than them. Try to show them up as well. I keep saying that too. Show someone up. All of these basically mean the same thing. You would outdo them. So to one up someone. Great little word there. There we go. Put in a sentence here. So they were trying to one up each other over who had the worst year. And I guess it isn't a phrasal verb, but it's just like a verb like that. But anyways, one up. We're gonna ones up. Put that in here. Awesome. Did I spell it right? Oh, I see what I did. There we go. I was like having a brain fart moment. It's gonna be like this. There we go. One ups someone. You'd one up someone. Ugh. Right. There you go. One ups. Okay. Let's go here. Failure. Something is a failure. Something that is a failure doesn't work. So we're looking for a word that describes, that we might say if something didn't work. So we might say this if something doesn't work. And this is a noun, by the way. Yeah, something that doesn't work, or maybe it doesn't have much value either. But yeah, I might say something doesn't work. I'm gonna put this in a sentence, maybe. That might help us out a little bit. If I can write something here. Here we go, in a sentence. Are there any more batteries? This one is a whatever this is. It doesn't work anymore. So. Or here's another example as well, because we might also use this word. Well, you would use this word for a variety of different things. Movies as well. He's made 11 movies in the last 20 years, and not one has been a failure or a flop. We might say that a movie is a flop as well if it doesn't do very well at the box office, for example, and it is not very popular. But I think this word here, the one that we are looking for, is dud. We would say that something is a dud if it doesn't work. So I'm gonna put dud in here. Dud. Here we go. So failure is gonna be a dud. It was a dud. Yeah. Da, da, da. Anyways, looking for more examples. But yeah, a dud is gonna be here. I'm gonna guess that this is O'Neill. I have no idea what this means. Drops out of the hand, folds. This is like a reference to playing cards, maybe, I'm guessing. Drops out of the hand, folds. Maybe. Possibly. I don't know. Anyways, let's do this one. Entered a B. There's a B. A special type of B you might do if you know how to... yeah, I think that, yeah, exactly. Because in poker and other similar hand games, or card games, you would have a hand, so the cards that you are dealt, and then if you think that you are, if your hand is not worth very much or you're not going to win, you would fold. So you would basically say that you no longer want to play or whatever like that. So I think that that's what this refers to. I think. So, anyways, entered a B. I'm gonna put like an ED here. So we might not know what this reference is, but sometimes, especially like kids, sometimes kids will enter a whatever this is. I don't know what this is. ing B. So I think that that's like what this has to do. The activity, the action that you would do when you are doing this little competition. And it's basically where kids or even people, I guess, or whatever like that, but they will go, they are given words and then they have to say what the letters are. Basically, say what the letters are. And they will have really long, very complicated words as well. Yeah, so it's going to be a spelling bee. Yeah, so I think if they entered a B, they spelled, which is a funny little word, but I think that that is what the answer is. Yeah, because you would enter it as spelling bee. So that's kind of funny. I don't know what, I wonder, I mean, I would assume that they would have these in other languages as well, but we call it a spelling bee. So it's a competition in which the winner is a person or group who is able to form correctly the highest number of words they are asked to form. So they have to spell the words that they are given. And I mostly think of it an activity that kids might do in school, but I don't know. I'm not really involved in the spelling bee world. I'm not well versed. A slow mover. I think we are looking for the name of an insect. The name of an, I think it's an insect that moves very slowly. slowly. I was using the word insect here very loosely because I'm not 100% sure if it's actually, I guess so. Some sort of type of thing, some sort of type of bug. That moves very, very slowly. Has a shell, a spiral, like a spiral shaped shell. It has a spiral shaped shell. They are often found in gardens. A snail. It is not an insect. I know. I'm like, what is that? What is it exactly? Like, what does it fall under? It's a mollusk. But yeah, you're right. It is not a insect though. I knew that. I wasn't sure what to call it. It's a gastropod, apparently. But a snail is our answer. Moves very slowly. Just so we're all on the same page, I will gastropod, yeah. Yeah, I wasn't sure offhand. There we go. There's a snail, just so we're all on the same page. Which is a gastropod. So, I'm sure someday that'll be a crossword answer, so that we'll remember it. Reading aid. An aid is something that helps, right? Something that helps you do something. And I think this is something that helps you read in this case. A something something. I feel like this is a type of furniture that you'd use to read, maybe when reading in the dark. Yeah, I think that that's what that is going to be. That is going to be our reading aid. It's going to be a bit of furniture that we might use, especially handy if it is dark out. I'm gonna point out here too, because I talked about luggage earlier. Furniture is also uncountable. We never say furnitures. We only say furniture. So we don't say luggages. We just say luggage. So luggage and furniture are uncountable. And lamp is our word. Exactly. You would use a lamp piece of furniture for reading in the dark. More trivia, which I don't do. I think this was in here last time. Maybe. Listen to. I know what this is. And there's a time of year. Hey, Annicole, welcome. Hey, yeah, it has been a while. I went away and then I got really sick. And I was just coughing all the time. And I was like, I'm not going to do a stream. I'm not going to do a stream if I'm going to be talking all the time. Yeah, so that's what happened. So I'm really sorry about this. Yeah. I think this is, the city is located in Saudi Arabia, if that helps. And there's an annual sort of like pilgrimage that happens that goes towards this city. It's a very important city in Islam. So you think you happen to know what that, basically the holy city. You think you happen to know what that is? Put it in the chat. City in Saudi Arabia. Exactly. Mecca. Mecca, I think, is going to be our city. All right. I'm going to put that here. Perfect. Okay. Let's see what else we can do here. So China landmark. Ah, the very big, the super famous thing in China. I think that's what this is gonna be, because a landmark is it's usually like maybe like a very like very specific building or something, or maybe like a geographical formation or something. Specific building or geographical formation that you may use when navigating, right? Because it's really easy to see. But here it's like this thing in super famous in China, the wall, exactly. The Great Wall of China, I think, is going to be our famous landmark here. Awesome. Cool. And gum masses. Ah, there's a word that they use. You know, after you've chewed gum, there's a word for it. What we would call it after it has been chewed. So, starts with a W. And of course, this is a plural. But you know, before it's, before you chew it, you might just call it a piece of gum. So here's a before shot. A piece of gum. Or maybe a stick of gum as well, right? But then afterwards, when it's all like this, there's like a word, and we would also use this word too for just balls of anything as well too. We might use this word to refer to paper, also when it is all crumpled up. So a, whatever this is, of paper, or of gum. I'm trying to think of other collocations with this word, but oh, money as well too. If you have money that are kind of like pressed together. Here's the official definition of this: a number of usually flat or small objects that are pressed tightly together. So wad of money, wad of tissue, wad of paper. Oh, I just said it. Anyways, wad. Wad is our word. This is a wad of gum. Anyways, I figured that's probably a new word for a lot of us. Sorry. Anyways, wads. Some coasters. Greenish brown. Hate. Flowery shrub. Fill with joy. Let's do this here. So coaster is sometimes something that you would put under a drink, right? Like a little disc you put under a drink in a glass to prevent the condensation, the wetness on the glass from getting on the wood on the table, so you don't ruin the table. But I think this here, coaster, refers to a different activity, because like to coast also means to sort of like move very smoothly over another surface. Very smoothly and easily over a surface. And I think the surface that they mean in this instance is one of if I can find a good picture. One of these. There we go. So I think we're essentially looking for the name of this thing that you would use for coasting down a snowy hill. So if you think you know what that is, put it in the chat and I will add it. Sleds, exactly. Yeah, so I think sleds is going to be our answer here. It's kind of a tricky little clue, but I'm pretty sure sleds is going to be our answer here. All right. Solo maneuver. This is also like a coasting reference as well too, but related to like bobsledding, I believe, where they have the very windy track. Yeah, let's just talk about this one really quickly. I don't know if I said that. Slalom. Then I gotta get a picture of a bobsled track. There we go. It's kind of a picture. It's not a very big picture, but we can see here how the track is very windy. It makes kind of you know, it's not straight, it is very curved, and I think this, whatever this is referring to like the shape, and we might, it's almost like the shape of a letter. There's a similar letter that has this snaky kind of shape. So that has a similar shape to a bobsled track, I think. Let's do that. I think that's what that is gonna be. And while you guys are guessing, I'm gonna like see how you actually say that word, because I'm not 100% sure. Slalom, yeah. Yes. Slalom is a race on skis. Well, on bobsleds here. But they have to follow a route that bends into a place. Anyways, this here is kind of an S shape, right? An S shape. So I just put S in here. Yeah, that was a bad clue to work on. But this should be an easier one, I think, here. Looking for another word, another synonym for hate. Another synonym for hate, basically. If you have a strong dislike for someone. This is an adjective, I think. No, it's a verb. To whatever this is, someone means to strongly dislike or hate someone or something. So another word for strongly disliking someone or something you hated very, very, very much, too. This is a good word to know, if you don't know this one. I think this is going to be... It's going to be detest. We would detest someone. So I'm gonna put that in here, or detest something. All right, put that in here. Let's see what else we can do here. Baseball need. Something we need in order to play baseball. Looking for the word for the stick, basically. The word of the stick that we need when playing baseball. Something T. The name of the stick. Stick used when playing baseball. The thing that they use to hit the ball with. Exactly, bat. I think bat is gonna be our answer here. So let's put bat in here. There you go. It's my, like, I feel like things are being weird. Anyway, sorry if the stream is a little weird. I don't know what's happening. Greenish brown. Fill with joy. Yeah, let's do this. A joy word. I feel like maybe I had a post recently on Instagram, I think, had this word in it. It's a word for being basically really happy. So to fill someone with joy. Joy, or like to make someone really happy. Often I would use this word kind of more in a passive. Like as an adjective to describe how somebody is feeling. Irks me, I should have found detest. It's the same word in French. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, actually I was a little surprised at that people didn't get that one. But, you know, we did have a lot of information. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes too, like, it's just not obvious at first, right? So, that's fine. That happens to me from time to time too. Yeah. It definitely happens to me from time to time. So a word that means make somebody extremely happy. Extremely excited. Usually because something good has happened. That's the official definition. So I'm gonna put it here. Make someone feel extremely happy, excited. But yeah, usually I would use this word in like as a passive. I would say I was very, whatever this word is, with a D at the end. I was, you know, or I am, you know, something, I mean, whatever this word is, to meet you, maybe you're like extremely happy. That's how I would use this, more passive. But yeah, to fill somebody with joy. I will give you a hint. It starts with an E. Put an E here. Maybe not meet, but to be here. Extremely happy. Extremely happy. Ugh, still kind of sick. I made the mistake. I went running yesterday and my throat's a little bit sore again. Anyways, elated. To elate someone means to make them extremely happy. And like I said, I would use it more as a passive. Yeah. Like I'm really elated to do something. That's how I would use it. Usually wouldn't use it as a verb. There we go. Here's an example. The prince was reported to be elated at or elated by the birth of his daughter. So extremely excited. Here's another one. He was elated by the news that he had won a full scholarship. And if you're not sure what a scholarship is, that is when you have your tuition covered, your fees covered in order to go to school. So I'm going to put late. There we go. Put that in here. And I don't know if we're going to know this color. This is a common eye. It was not super common, but it is definitely an eye color. A greenish brown eye color, or hair as well. No, maybe not. Mostly for eye color. This is an eye color. A greenish brown color. Just like closing some windows here. Yeah, greenish brown color. It's funny, I googled the color and I only see eyes. So this is basically like, apparently it's the rarest eye color. Is this interesting? There you go. Sort of this color. Greenish brown. So whatever this might be. There's also a plant that also has this name. I don't know if maybe the color comes from the plant. Maybe. No idea. But anyways, this color here, this greenish brown eye color, this is hazel. Hazel eyes. Hazel eyes. So hazel is our color. Put hazel in here. Apparently it is the rarest eye color. That is news to me. Yeah, hazel. Yeah, exactly, hazel. Crossword. Oh. You know those little, so like a mat is, you know, kind of like a little that you would put on the floor, right? Like a rug or something, right? So a mat is it's typically a rug. Another word for mat is a rug. You kind of put it on the floor, right? If at your home you might have a mat that goes right by the front door. Right by the front door, and then you may say this very common sort of like English greeting. Like something that you might say when somebody first comes to your house, for example, and you want to invite them into your home. A word you'd use when inviting someone into your home is going to be welcome. Exactly. So, and it is common for maybe to have that on a mat, right? A welcome mat. So, exactly. Something like that. So let's put welcome in here. Okay, so let's do that. And then this here, ballooned, something ballooned. It got really, really huge. I feel like this word was in a crossword last time I played, but something got really, really big. And we might use this word a lot when talking about an injury. Most specifically, if you sprained your ankle, for example. Right? So if you sprained your ankle or your wrist, you might maybe like bend it in a way that's really uncommon or really uncomfortable, and then it will puff up, right? It puffs up, it gets bigger. So I think we are looking for a word that describes that, something getting bigger. And I'm also going to give another additional hint, because sometimes in this word, sometimes this crossword, certain words, certain clues follow a pattern. It is a similar word to this one, the spelled here. Super close. So close, Aniquil. So close. Cause you're like confusing two words here. Kind of, almost. You're confusing the past form and the past participle. But that's great though. Yeah. So swelled. Oh no, what did I do here? Swelled is going to be the word. I don't know how that happened. Okay, so swelled. Swelled is going to be the word here. But yeah, so to swell. That's going to be like the base word. Swelled, past form, and then swollen. There we go, swollen. This is the participle. So those are the forms here of that word. So swelled here is what we want, but then yeah, something is swollen. That would be, he had a swollen ankle, for example. And you know, it swelled up like a balloon. There we go, yeah. Good type. Anyways, yeah. Great little review of those, like, it's a super uncommon verb. All right. What else do we have here? Hunter in the sky. This is a constellation that you can see in the northern hemisphere, usually during winter, or at least that is true here. I don't know if that is true in other parts of the world, but it is common to see this constellation, which is basically a group of stars, right? That they say form an image, right? But this is a constellation you can see in the northern hemisphere during winter. Orion, exactly. Orion is the hunter. So let's put it in here. We got Orion. Get it a jail money. Get it a jail money. Money that you have to pay in order to get it a money. Or sorry, in order to get it a jail. Get it a jail money. B-A-I something. Money you'd pay to get someone out of jail. Literally, I don't know if I know like another way to describe it. But yeah, the amount of money that a person who has been accused of a crime pays so they can be released until their trial. Not bait. Kind of close though. Not bait. Bait we might use if you're going to lure something to do something. You would, like, you know, fish bait, for example. You would lure the fish to take the bait. So close, but not the word here. So to lure someone or something with. So for example, fish bait, for example, but simple, or kind of a similar word, super similar word. This one is going to be bail. Bail is going to be the money. And this is a noun, obviously, but we can also use it as a verb. If you've ever been like to bail someone out of something. To bail out basically means to rescue someone from a bad situation or something like that. So we could use it that way. As a phrasal verb, obviously. To bail out. There we go. Here's an example of this phrasal verb in a sentence. She keeps running up huge debts and asking her friends to bail her out. So she keeps asking her friends for money so she can pay her bets and get out of that situation. So that's what that usually means. That's usually how we do it. There's a couple other words. There's a couple other ways we would use that too. But this is a super common one. So basically, you know, can you bail me out? Can you help me out here? That's how we might use that one. College unit and stank. Stank. So this is another opportunity to review irregular verbs. So to stink, stank, stunk. So we're looking for another word, a synonym for this, basically, in the past form. So if something stank, it had a very unpleasant odor. So an odor, yeah, try not to use the word in my description. But if you have like an odor, you can perceive it with your nose that it is not very pleasant whatsoever. It's like the opposite of a nice fragrance. For example, something that has a nice fragrance or something that is fragrant has a very pleasant whatever. Smelled is our word. Yes. Okay, awesome. Smelled. Cool, cool, cool. All right. Nice. Had an unpleasant odor. Smelled, or it stank. So those are other great words as well too. Something stinks, has a terrible smell. Stink, stank, and stunk are gonna be the verbs for that one. Alrighty. What else we got here? Bum, bum, bum. Dun, 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 dun. Let's do this one. The striped cat, because I think that's going to be an easy one. Striped cat. This is a very big cat. A very large striped cat. Very big one. Very big, dangerous cat. Anyway, I keep saying cat here, but a feline. A feline, we refer to that family of cats. Yeah, so very big striped cat. Tiger is our answer. Yes. So let's put that in here. Put that in here. All right. Tiger. Cool. So that'll give us more information. Maybe. I thought that would help, but maybe not. All right. geriatrics topic. Somebody who's geriatric, someone who is geriatric is very old, basically. So we're looking for 2 words here. Something you might talk about if somebody is geriatric, basically. Think you have an idea what that is. I think it should be pretty obvious. Someone who's very old. So, something you would discuss. Might discuss when talking about seniors. Let's put it that way. People who are old. Old age, exactly. Old age. Alright, there we go. I'm gonna put old age here. It's gonna be our geriatric topic. Simple. I don't know what that is. Let's maybe do this one. A word on a bill. A bill. So a bill could refer to, you know, like a paper, like a banknote, right? A dollar bill, right? But a bill could also be, a bill is also something you need to pay. Maybe, you know, at the end of a service, or maybe if you're buying something, right? Something that you need to pay. You buy something, right? So especially if you have, you know, some sort of, maybe a service or something like that. But you get the bill, and then it always usually says that you have to give them the money. So we're looking for a word that basically indicates, this word indicates that you need to pay. Basically, this is kind of an adjective. Adjective word. An adjective indicates that you need to pay. That you owe money. Or maybe it lets you know when you have to pay by. For example. So I'm going to give you guys a second to figure that out while I fiddle with some things. Okay, there we go. I think. I'm always paranoid I'm streaming my music by accident. Because I did that once. It was really bad. Anyways, a word on a bill that indicates you need to pay might be due. Something is due. So I'm gonna put due it here. Put that there. Don't remember it. That's all good. Due is gonna be our answer. Something is due means that that payment must be paid. You have, you know, there's like the deadline or whatever like that. All right, cool. So we got that one. Like the German does. So I don't really speak German whatsoever, but I do know that there is something kind of particular about German. Unlike English, because in English our like objects do not have gender, right? But in many languages there are genders, right? And then German in particular is like gender, and then also, yeah, exactly, neuter. So basically that means that there is no gender. So I think that's what that is. So let's put that in here. Let's put that in there. All right. I wonder what this is. Anyways, let's do this one though. The name of the guy, the famous guy who does, famous guy in tractors. This is a very common name in tractors. Common crossword clue. Seems like it comes up a lot. And tractors and farm equipment, lawnmowers, that kind of thing. Or at least they are here. It is here. I don't know if it's like that all around the world. Probably in Europe, I would think, as well. Maybe. Definitely here in Canada. I don't like trivia, but I don't know if we're gonna get that one. Anyways, John Deere. I'm gonna put that in here. Deere. And then Brink. Yeah, I didn't like this. I don't like this clue. I don't like this clue. So I'm gonna describe this in a slightly different way. I don't know if does my screen keep flashing on the stream? Just because it seems that on my end it is. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's annoying me. Anyways. So the brink of something is like the edge of something. Something is the edge of something. So say, for example, you know, you push me to the brink. It means that you pushed me to my limits, my absolute limits, or like the edge of my limits, right? So this is a word that has to do with the edge of something. The edge of something. For example, because we had the word ledge earlier. Similar though. Similar, we might use this word to describe sort of the edge of a... You can't see the definition. Okay, sorry about that. There you go. I'm so sorry. Thank you for pointing that out. I appreciate that. So yeah, so we might use that to sort of describe sort of like the edge of a canyon, for example. But potentially also maybe the edge of a cup or something. Like the edge of a cup here, maybe. So we're looking for a word. Here. Something. Something. A word used to describe the edge of a canyon, ledge, canyon, or a cup, for example, or like a rim. Exactly. So the rim is going to be our edge here. Awesome. All right. So we got that one there. Perfect. Great job. All right, cool. And then let's see here. Oh, so maybe we have enough information. I don't know if we're gonna know this word, but another word for seething. If you are seething, you are extremely mad. All right, extremely mad, extremely angry. We might say that you are seeing red. Another way that we might describe this. Or we could also use this word exactly to be, this is an adjective. So whatever this is going to be. Anger word. Extremely angry. I feel like this word may have come up before in the crossword. I feel like I see it often. Anyways, this here is going to be irate. Irate. Exactly, irate. Which kind of made me think of another similar word as well, to be irritated as well. Similar word, but that means to be annoyed. But irate, so I was irate. Great word there. Gonna put this in a sentence. We've been getting some irate calls from customers, so they are super angry. Awesome, awesome. And let's do this one really quickly. This college unit. So if you go to college, or even university as well too, you would take classes, right? But each class is sort of worth a number of these. So each class is worth a certain number of these, and usually in order to graduate, you have to finish a certain number of these. So, and like the amount of these that you would earn from a class kind of depends on maybe how long it is or how challenging it is, something like that, how difficult it is. Yeah. Credit, exactly. Credit is going to be our word here. You get college credits. Yeah, a unit that represents a successfully finished part of an educational course. That is the official definition. Credit is our word. All right. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Put away. You know, they always have this this clue in this crossword, so we should discuss it. So, to put something away, usually means to store something, right? But in this crossword, they usually use it for like another sort of lesser known use of this phrasal word. We might also use it if you are consuming a lot of food. So we are looking for a word. A word that has to do about food, basically. And I think this is going to be like the past verb. A verb about food, about consuming food. Eat, yeah. So eat. I'm gonna put it as 8, because usually you would put it away. That's sort of like it, like after you really like put that away, like you ate it after. Funny little use about something. Yeah, to eat a large amount of food. So here we go. Here it is in a sentence. So he put away a whole box of chocolates in one evening. So usually we would use this after the fact. So I'm going to put it in the past here. But they love to use this for like this little clue this way. Appeared. One of those, a synonym for this. Very common one. I think we will get this. I'm gonna put an ed here since it's gonna be the same. Appeared, or maybe like looked like, right? Looking for another word like that. Another word like that. Something. Dun, 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 dun. What are those words that we use all the time in English? Since we don't like to repeat looks like all the time. Seemed! It's gonna be our word. Exactly. So seemed, appeared. Awesome. Looking forward to finishing this. So we're making good progress. I'm glad people showed up. I was kind of worried. It's been so long. Don't know. Correct as a text. Glided. Do you remember who did the night show? The Tonight Show? Was that it? The Tonight Show? Yeah, it was the Tonight Show, right? Dude who did the what is it, the original host? The Tonight Show. Because it's Jimmy Fallon now, right? I think. Jimmy Fallon. But it used to be another guy. Kind of famous guy. Get a picture of him. Maybe. If you remember. What's this guy? Do you remember that guy's name? I'll put it in. His first name is Jay. something. It was Jay Leno. Jay Leno was the original. Maybe that is not like maybe that's not known ever. I have no idea. We get a lot of American TV here, so maybe that's why I know. Jay Leno. Yeah. Jay Leno. Anyways. Let's do this one. This correct as a text. So usually we might use the word like edit, right? Or something like that. This word is a little bit more formal. So this is a very formal word that would mean to correct or change a text. Usually more like we would use it for changing a legal document. So some sort of very important, like if we're changing a very important piece of writing or important piece of text, we would use some sort of this fancy word that means to change a text. You might also do this to like a law or something like that. So the change. To change the words of a text, especially a law or a legal document. That's what we are looking for here. Very, very formal word. That's what we're looking for. I will give a hint. Starts with an A. Put an A here. Got an A. Yeah, it's almost like a legal word. So I think this word is going to be amend. You would amend a text, exactly. Amend a document. You would change it. Here we go. I'm gonna put this in a sentence so we can see how we might use it. He will try to amend the bill. A bill is sort of a proposal for a law, right? He will try to amend the bill to shift more of the money to conservation. So he will change it. He will correct it. Correct it. That is going to be our answer here. Awesome. 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 I wonder if we could get this one. Like ready to eat shrimp. And so keep in mind that these are all kind of following a similar pattern. So we have swelled, spelled, smelled. Probably gonna start with an S. So if you buy ready to eat shrimp, they've had something removed. So ready to eat shrimp have had something removed, something that you would normally have to take off of them in order to eat it, because they have this sort of this hard covering almost, right? So this word refers, like the base word here refers to that crunchy, tough outer exterior that shrimp have, or shellfish have, gastropods have. Maybe not, because I think slugs are also gastropods, so maybe not. But many of them have like a thick outer thing. So base word refers to the thick, hard outer part of the shrimp. See what you mean, but I don't know what this word is. Yeah. So that outer part, the hard covering is going to be the shell. And we actually also see this word too, just in the word shellfish. So that's why they call them shellfish. They call them the shellfish because they have a shell. So when you buy them, if they are shelled, that means that the shell has been removed. So we can use it as a verb, to shell a fish. So to shell a, maybe not a fish, but to shell a, I don't know, scallop, something like that. To shell a mussel, I don't know. Anyways, and then we would say that they have been shelled. So I had to put that in here. There we go. Put that in here. And glided. Glided, another word for coasting, basically. Got some coasting words here. So glided, to glide. Again, to move easily over a smooth surface, for example. So we're looking for another word. This time, the past word for whatever this is. And another irregular verb. But these are the same. We're going to use the same form. The past form and the past participle are the same in this case. So whatever that might be, that past form of this verb. So we have slide, and then sled is a noun. So sled is a noun. We're looking for a verb here. It's gonna be slid. Slid is gonna be the past form and the past participle of slide, to sled. Oh yeah, I guess you could also use sled as a verb to sled. We were sledding on the hill, right? This one doesn't change. Sled. You had sled, yeah. They sled on the, yeah. So those ones don't change. This one does though. Slide, slid, slid. So many irregular past verbs. Really annoying. English is annoying. But what can we do? We can't do anything. Relaxed. I originally thought that this was gonna be at ease, but we can see that that is not the case. However, there is one place that we might be relaxed, and that is if we are here. So we would be relaxed if we are at whatever this location is. Whatever this location is. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah. So we would be relaxed. So not out, not at work, not out in the town, not you'd be at home. Exactly. We're gonna be at home. That is where we are going to be relaxed. What a tricky, they like have some tricky little clues this time. Not so obvious. So sneaky stuff today. Crazy. Oh, is this like this? Oh, maybe not. This is a T. I'm just gonna put this in here. It's like, what is this? We're not gonna get this. Let's do the last one. Give a new look to. If you give you might give a new look to something. Basically means that you maybe decorate it again, maybe? But we're looking for a word we might use. We'd often use if we redecorated a home, for example, or maybe if we remodeled a home, redecorated a home, or something like that. We might use this. You would redo it. Exactly. And I think that is gonna be it. I think we've got all of them. Hopefully we did a good job. We are close. But one word is filled in correctly. That's cool. Sled. Shelled. Aster. Is it this one? Oh. Oh, what's the difference between amend and emend? I don't know. Oh, yeah, you would amend a text. Okay. I was thinking it was like to correct it, but you could also amend, right, you would amend a text as well. Anyways, super close. Can't get them all the time. Anyways, that also means to correct or improve a text. That was not super obvious to me. Anyways, all right, cool. Anyways, great job, everybody. Really appreciate your help. Thanks so much for being here, especially since it's been so long since I've done this. But I'm happy to be back. I really enjoyed this activity. I would love if more people came out to do this activity, so feel free to spread the word. It would be great to have more people on board, because if there are more people, I would be more motivated to do this for sure. I really enjoy it. So, and I think this is such a fantastic opportunity, a fantastic way for people to like learn and review some words in an interesting way. Anyways, like I said earlier, I am currently having a sale also on conversational classes, the ones based on articles. So during the month of April, all of those are up to 20% off. I think here we go. Yeah, like I said, if you would like to take advantage of those sale prices, just email me, getspeakingenglish@gmail.com, or the best way to contact me actually is on Telegram, and just say spring sale when you are contacted me, or say something a little bit more complex than just hi, because I get a lot of spam on Telegram, and I do not even open the messages if somebody just is like hi. So anyways, if you're interested in that, that is possible. Otherwise, I will be back on Friday at this time for another crossword. So thanks again. Thanks again for being here. I really appreciate it. It's so good to see all of you guys. And I look forward to, doing this again with you guys coming up. So I hope you have a really fantastic day. And I will see you guys all in the next one. All right. Bye, everybody. Have a good one.